What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Untitled, as of right now, news wrap up. I'm not going to be taking the biggest stories of the week because, quite frankly, it's kind of pointless to, hear me drone on about the same three topics that 99% of other people are doing. Yes, I know Star Wars is no longer with EA. Anyways, let's get into the news. Nintendo is facing another round of lawsuits. Turns out that Joy-Con drift is still an issue. Now the Canadians are stepping in and helping out the Americans and the Japanese at suing Mario. Quebec resident Kelly Ann St. Laurent, that's quite the name, is heading this new lawsuit, stating that her Joy-Con drift is so bad that it renders the Switch unusable. Her lawyer states the Joy-Con drift is, quote, a hidden defect or program obsolescence, and that his client has spent more money on controllers than the system itself. Normally I'd think this is kind of dumb and a first world problem, but as someone who went through 4 Joy-Cons and then sold 2 broken Joy-Cons connected to a Switch back to GameStop. Yeah, don't tell them that. I mean, whatever, it's GameStop.
Bless you.
It's definitely a problem, and I know quite a few people that have had issues where their Joy-Cons just don't work or they're getting drift and it makes the game literally unplayable. And it's such a widespread problem that Nintendo is currently being sued in multiple countries over the same issue. While Nintendo has kind of won a few of these cases, such as one where a federal judge in America sent the class action lawsuit down to arbitration, it's still a loss for Nintendo because, yes, they don't have to pay class action lawsuit money, but they're still losing, and it sets a precedent for everyone else. Quite frankly, though, I really think they need to just pull an Xbox and just recall all these, fix them, put out a new version, and whatever. I mean, it's not like Nintendo isn't making money on it anyways, because at the end of the day, the Switch is still impossible to buy anywhere for a cheap price. You can buy it used, but it's gonna cost you a lot, I probably should have waited and sold mine this last year instead of right when the Lite came out. The Lite's not bad, but can't play any of the fitness games on it or VR or dock it in the TV or pretty much do anything with it. So yeah, joke's on me. Thanks, Nintendo. In other Switch news, it looks like Apex Legends, the game that everyone totally thought was going to dethrone PUBG, Fortnite, and Call of Duty, but then didn't, is coming to the Switch. The Apex Legends Nintendo Switch release date has been reportedly revealed in a YouTube description of its latest trailer, targeting a launch for the same day that Season 8 begins in early February 2021. While this hasn't been confirmed by EA themselves, it seems like someone slipped the news, and I'm sure we'll see an official confirmation sometime soon, because quite frankly, this is a game that could totally thrive on the Switch because it's pretty good. It's no Titanfall 3, but yeah, it's a pretty cool game. But keep in mind, this could just be human error, kind of like how Fall Guys was totally confirmed by Microsoft to be coming to Game Pass and then deconfirmed by its publisher Devolver Digital that it's not coming there. And yeah, so who knows, maybe we'll be playing Apex on the Switch, maybe we won't. Either way, I still have a Switch Lite, so yeah, bad mistake. All right, moving on. Cyberpunk 2077, the game that everybody loves, there's no problems, they're all having a great time with, is now on sale. You heard that right. Right now you can buy the PS4, Xbox versions of the game at Best Buy and Amazon for nearly 50% off, which quite frankly is the only way you can buy it on those platforms. So I guess if you want it, go pick it up. While discounts on games a month or 2 out of release isn't anything new, a 50% drop only a few weeks out from launch is not a good thing. I mean, we're talking Anthem bad here, but that's not surprising when you consider the drama around the game and how, quite frankly, it probably should have been a late 2021, maybe even a 2022 release. In an article by Jason Schreier this past week, it's implied through anecdotal evidence that everyone's assumptions were true. That's a nice legal sentence there. From everything like the game being rushed to launch on time, to developer crunch, the game totally changing direction from a third-person to first-person game midway through development, and the assumption that everyone will overlook the game's known deliverable flaws because The Witcher 3 was super good really makes it look bad. I mean, honestly, if you have the old consoles, the game's literally unplayable. And yeah, there's people that have been playing on the old consoles and like, oh, well, you're just a hater. It's actually really good. But as someone who's been trying to play it on a Series X, let me tell you, I had a couple game breaking bugs, and there were a lot of times where it's like, I wanted to go pick up a gun or something and it disappeared, or, the sword that's supposed to deflect bullets isn't even in the game. I don't know. I've been waiting for the next gen patch, and there's some good news about that though, because the next gen patch is coming in the fall. According to a recent timeline put out by the game's developer, CDPR, it looks like the next-gen patch is actually coming out later than we thought and closer to 2022 than we had hoped. Kind of a huge bummer, but yeah, I guess you can pick up the game for cheaper now. Because quite frankly, even though everyone's been talking shit about it, and there are a lot of fundamental problems with the game itself, there's a story in there that is excellent. And there's a world in there with Night City that's actually incredible and probably one of the best this generation, but it's just so covered in all the drama and all the mishaps and stuff like that. It's really unfortunate. I mean, I know they're going to turn it around eventually. The game by no means is a failure. It's actually sold over like 14 million copies, and that's including the refunds. So yeah, they're in a good place. Let's just hope they fix it, because there is something really special there, and it'll be nice to play it with graphics that don't look like GoldenEye on the N64. So yeah, it looks like I'm just gonna go back to playing Call of Duty on my Series X and you know, think about the $500 I could have spent on something better. Anyways, let's get into probably the stupidest story of the week. So one thing I've noticed about the games industry and just kind of the scene around video games as a whole is that every week someone goes above and beyond and kind of just fucks up, or something really weird happens or cringy or whatever. And yeah, I think it's appropriate to highlight that. In previous like shows and podcasts and stuff I've done, I've talked about a guy who killed his wife for an Xbox, or another guy who tried to steal a PlayStation in his pants, you know, gamer moments. So yeah, this week takes us to Goodwill. If you've ever wondered where all the good stuff goes, it goes on their website before it actually goes to any of their stores. And right now there is a listing for 912 pounds of old PlayStation consoles. And if you want to look it up, the listing is titled, and I quote here, "A Gaylord of various PlayStation consoles." Before you get ahead of yourself right there, let me just tell you something. That word actually refers to the box that it's in. Turns out a really big heavy duty cardboard box is called a Gaylord. Learn something new every day. Anyways, if you're really into PlayStation and you have the money to buy a Honda Civic's worth of PS1s, 2s, 3s, and 4s, and probably a lot of plastic and spiders and stuff, currently the auction is listing at $800 with local pickup only, and there's no word of anything actually works. Spoiler alert, nothing probably works there except for the 12 million spiders you're gonna inherit for $800 though, so I don't know. You're into that. And while nothing's confirmed to work, I guess if you want to build like a mech out of PlayStations, then here's your chance. There's also a second listing for 602 pounds of Gaylord of cords, cables, controllers for games. In the listing, there are photos of N64 controllers, PlayStation controllers, a lot of 360 controllers. Big surprise there. This is another thing that I really don't know who's going to buy this. I mean, I guess if you were like rebuilding them or something like that, but at that point you're just buying trash. And if it makes it worth it though, there is a photo of an unboxed Xbox 360 Wi-Fi controller in there. So yeah, that's worth $600, I guess. I don't know. Some people like to hoard things, so hey, here you go. Spend that stimulus on some PlayStation plastic. Thanks a lot for 1,000 subs, by the way. That's really cool. I know in the grand scheme of YouTube, that's like not that much, but it's pretty cool. And yeah, it's I don't know, it's awesome. Be sure to do that thing that everyone says do at the end of a video, but don't feel pressure to do it because that is stupid. And yeah, go do something nice to someone. I don't know. The McRib's gone, so what hope do we have left for humanity? Until next time, take care.